Knicks fans, welcome back to another session of Knicks Bros TV here on Knicks Couch Report. We definitely have a lot to speak about in this session. Obviously, still not a very successful week for New York sports overall. The titles of the show that we're going to talk about today is going to be the Knicks' 8-game losing streak. Also, the progression of Stoudemire. We're going to discuss a little bit of that. And really question if Melo is the right guy for this organization. The other one is, when is the right time to start pointing the finger at Derek Fisher? And we'll kind of get into all that and also touch base on the New York Jets, do a little bit of New York Jets post-game from the Minnesota Vikings game. The saga continues with John Idzik and the New York Jets, so we'll kind of get into that as well. So here we go. Last time since my brother and I touched base with you guys, we just ended up losing to the Brooklyn Nets 98-93. Then we played a very, very close game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers in Madison Square Garden, where we came short. I believe the score for that game was 90-87. I mean, that game had me right on the edge. Very, very close game. Very upsetting because that game we should have won that game. That was the best team effort game I've seen from the New York Knicks. I was proud of J.R. Smith. I was proud of Hardaway coming off the bench. I was proud of Stoudemire with his 18 points. I believe he had a lot of rebounds in that game as well. So I was ecstatic about the performance. But obviously, Carmelo Anthony did not show up in that game whatsoever. He ended up having 10 points. And that's where it kind of leads me into if Melo is the right guy for this organization. Here's the thing. Melo had us on the edge over the summer about him signing with the New York Knicks, and this is the result that we get. And there's people out there that really like Melo, and guess what? I used to be one of them. But I'm starting to just give up on him in the sense that he is not a team-organized basketball player. It's always mostly individual. Me, 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 me. All right? And I know I brought this up in my last video. Kobe Bryant, which is my favorite player, obviously, but what he tends to do, not watch a lot of Lakers games, what he tends to do is, whether if he can't shoot, if he's having an off night, or, if he's having an okay night, this Kobe Bryant of this year has transitioned into such a good team player. He has made players better around him. Nick Young has been better around him. Jeremy Lin has been better around him. And those guys were pretty inconsistent. But it's that mental transition that Kobe Bryant has made, knowing, hey, you know what? I can't go out there and score 33, 40 points a game. It's not going to do me any good. I got to get the rest of the team on board. I got to be able to pass the ball to Boozer. I got to be able to do this. I got to be able to find Jeremy Lin for a three-pointer. And Carmelo Anthony, I don't know what he did with that weight loss, but it has not benefited him whatsoever. He's still not moving around the court. He ran into a Hardaway Jr. that cost us that dunk by LeBron James that we started trailing right with 30 seconds left. His body is just dry. He doesn't move around. He doesn't, he's just a one-on-one guy. And that's very frustrating to me. He let that team down against the Cavaliers that night. And LeBron didn't have a good performance either. It was Irving that ended up having 37 points. And Love had a dreadful game too. So there was no reason why we could not win that game. Hardaway came off the bench, ended up with 20 points. A little bit over 20 points, I believe. But again, it came down to turnovers. And that's been the story of our season. And it came down to our captain not being there. Well, that's fine. We'll give it back to the old Captain Stoudemire because he showed up for that game. He plays hard. He plays with heart. He plays with desire. And what bothers me the most is, we went out there and we literally begged Carmelo Anthony back, and this is what he's given us. So then we ended up playing the Hornets. Not really going to get into that game much because I saw bits and pieces of it. Now against the Portland Trailblazers, Carmelo Anthony had 23 points. He played 35 minutes. I believe he was 9 for 19 in that game. Stoudemire had 16 points, 36 minutes. And the thing with Stoudemire is they're playing, they're giving him the minutes. His minutes aren't being watched anymore since he's not hurt. That's really good, just because of the fact that he's been terrific for us. And I will call him out if he doesn't play well, but it is what it is. Samuel Dallenberg has been on a decline. Jason Smith is so off and on that I don't know what to expect from him. J.R. Smith, he's J.R. Smith. He'll never be better than the sixth man, at most. He did have 20 points in this game. But again, I think the story for this organization comes down to consistency. We got to be more consistent. Calderon, ever since Carmelo Anthony has come back, Calderon has been on a decline. And the reason why I say that is because I just don't know. Calderon does not know his position in the offense when Carmelo Anthony's on the court. That's it. He just doesn't know his position when Carmelo Anthony's on the court. His defense isn't as bad as people made it out to be, much better than Raymond Felton, to be honest. Or if not, obviously offensively he's much better. Pablo didn't have a good game against the Trailblazers. We started the game, first half was fine. Started falling behind late in the third quarter. That's been a story of our season as well as the third and fourth quarter. We just cannot close out games. And this is where I kind of lead into Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher, to me, has had the easiest pass New York media has ever given anyone within a spotlight this big. There's something with Derek Fisher's personality that he gains a lot of respect. When he steps into the room and just speaks, a lot of people listen. I'm a huge fan of Derek Fisher's. I watch the Los Angeles Lakers. I used to watch them, and I still watch them. And Derek Fisher was the man. Heck of a point guard. He gets a lot of respect, but here's my thing is I don't feel like the heat is turned up on him as much as other coaches or other players get in New York. And the only reason why I say that, two reasons, actually. Shorten the rotation, meaning don't sit out Carmelo Anthony for so long. But I will give him the benefit of the doubt that there might be something we don't know. Because obviously Anthony doesn't look the same. Whether it's the back spasms, whether he's not ready to be back, whatever the case might be. Excuse me. And the other thing is, get Hardaway out of your doghouse. You have created a doghouse for Hardaway. He came off the bench against Cleveland and lifted that team with his three-pointers. You got to give this guy, you got to be able to develop him. The same way Woody didn't develop Iman Shumpert last year. You got to be able to develop Tim Hardaway. You can't have him on the bench 13 minutes. He averages 17 minutes a game. I can't get mad at J.R. Smith and ask you to pull him because he's doing just fine. But Iman Shumpert's terrible. Iman Shumpert had played really good defense against Cleveland, held up LeBron pretty well, but Iman Shumpert's terrible. Tonight against Portland, he scored 11 points, 23 minutes. You played Tim Hardaway 13 minutes, he was 2 for 5 and 7 points. Where Iman Shumpert was 5 for 10, 11 points, he played 23 minutes. Iman Shumpert needs to go. I've come to a conclusion. I've given him as many chances as possible. Right now, I can't say much about J.R. Smith is because he is just being that sixth man. Nothing greater, but nothing worse. Still silly turnovers. The problem this year has been turnovers, just ridiculous passes, and the other one is not guarding the three-pointers against the opponent. Which is, you would think after maybe like 6 or 7 practices you would be able to get a hang of it, but I guess not. So, and the other thing that's really tough is we're losing all these games very closely. Out of the 8 losses that we've had, three of the games have been by 4 points or less. If I get criticized for criticizing Derek Fisher, it is what it is. That's just how I feel about it. I know my brother might feel a little bit different. I know some viewers might feel them, but I respect your opinion. But my opinion is quite simply this. He's a rookie coach. He's going to make rookie mistakes. I'm totally aware of that. I still think he's the right guy for the position. I know the direction we're heading. I'm not panicking, but what I'm just trying to say is do not let Hardaway not flourish within this offense. He's got to get a chance because I feel like J.R. Smith has had that chance. He's blown it over and over again. Iman Shumpert has been getting a lot of chances this year, not taking advantage of it, but I really don't think Hardaway has been given the opportunity yet. My opinion. Case closed. So it is what it is. The Knicks go on and play the Pelicans in New Orleans. Then we play San Antonio in San Antonio. And we play the Celtics in Boston. So 3-game trip. Maybe it's a good thing because we tend to not be able to win in Madison Square Garden. So it's kind of good to get out of New York and try to be able to get a W. It is what it is. So that's my little update / rant on the Knicks. We're going to jump to the New York Jets. They played the Minnesota Vikings today, where they lost in overtime 30 to, I believe, 24. But before we kind of get into...
Yes, nice hit! Seriously, this is awesome. Now we can watch...
Before we get into the New York Jets, I kind of like to read a small part of an article for you guys. Multiple sources within the organization tell ESPN that Idzik has alienated not just Jets fans, but those in the organization around him in the front office and on the coaching staff. Those sources in the organization said Idzik has not played the game of politics well, internally or externally, and has cost him support in various areas. Idzik can't handle the heat, can't handle the heat. That's probably what's going on. And when I watched this Minnesota game, I had to literally grind my teeth against each other. Because I can see this coach can coach. I can see some talent on this field. But the longer and longer this game went on, it felt like there wasn't enough talent on that field for Rex Ryan to be able to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. Geno Smith. I really disagree with this decision. Should have kept Michael Vick in there because I'm literally pulling for Geno Smith not to have good games. The reason why I say that, I don't want to lead into next year to have another quarterback controversy. Either we draft another quarterback or we get one from free agency, and that's it. Tired of this competition thing. Geno Smith went 18 for 29, 254 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. I'm very impressed with Bridgewater. He had a heck of a game. But Geno Smith, he had a couple of good drives. Not to give that up to him, but what a performance by Percy Harvin. Came out and showed out his whole team with 6 receptions, 124 yards, 1 touchdown. Eric Decker had a really good game, 6 receptions, 89 yards. So that was really good. Curley today was very, very disappointing. He almost had that fumble right toward the end of the game where it could have cost us the game. Also, he had a drop pass where there were a lot of defenders around him, but it is what it is. But I want to applaud Richardson. He had himself about 3 sacks today. Also had that safety. And the players play really hard for Rex Ryan, and it's frustrating that we're not able to perform the way we wanted to this season. But it is what it is. John Idzik's got to go. Whether if Rex Ryan leaves or not or gets fired, there's no relevance anymore. It is what it is. I just want this organization to be able to turn it around. So the next game that the New York Jets play is against Tennessee in Tennessee. And then we have the Patriots at home and go away to play the Miami Dolphins. Guys, I know it's been a long of a video, a late night session. Please tell me what you think, what your perspective is on Carmelo Anthony, whether if he is that elite basketball player that everyone thinks that he is. Should Derek Fisher get a little bit more heat, or is it just on the players? So those are a lot of things that we could kind of discuss in this video. Please keep watching us. Also, my brother and I, we're going to probably do another Google Hangout. I think it's very interactive. So anybody that enjoys our channel, that wants to be a part of that Google Hangout, kind of get your perspective, kind of get a little bit more involved, get more interactive with our viewers, that would be awesome. So hit us up at our knicksbrostv@gmail.com. I'm going to also put that below for you guys. We really haven't set a time or a date for it yet, but you can always email us and tell us when you're free, and we kind of work around that. So again, thank you for watching. Comment and subscribe. Have a wonderful night.